Hans Wormhat. This is a video about flat earth mocking and how, especially today, mocking flat earth is so popular because more people are talking about flat earth. More people are waking up to it, and they can tell that they're losing the magic of the ball earth, and they got to do damage control. They've been overtime mocking flat earth, but the way that Satan always ends up undoing himself, it's obvious now. There's way too much stuff there, way too many people screaming about how dumb flat earthers are. And okay, if I bring this up all the time because I get a lot of hate for the things that I say, obviously. The thing that I bring up to people all the time, if what you're saying is true, that I'm crazy and I need to go take crazy pills, etc., 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 why are you spending so much time invested coming at me and yelling at me and screaming at me, calling me mean things? If you see some schizo on the side of the street blabbing nonsense, you don't go up to him and talk to him and say, you need help, you need to go take meds. So the reason that people come at you and mock you and tell you, you need to go take meds, you need to go take meds, you need to go to a psychiatrist, I hope you never have children, they're just trying to shame you. And they don't really believe those things. Just the example I gave, do you think that the type of person that comes up to you and screams at you because of your beliefs that you need help, etc., 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 do you think that they really believe that way, or do you think that they're just coming from a place of anger? And I think it makes it really obvious that these people don't really feel that way. They're just mocking you and trying to shame you into not trusting your instinct, believing what is right in front of you. More popular than ever, bashing flat earth. Their talking points are so stupid as well. Look at that banana. God made it with a peel for us so it would stay fresh longer and be easy to open. And then they go on to say about how bananas were bred that way by humans, which yeah, that's true, but either this person doesn't understand or they're just a shill. The concept of leading the opposition. This is just one of the biggest thing. They play both sides. They lead the opposition. They love to lead the opposition with the most insane people. They're playing the fool. They they have the spotlight. If you just follow any movement like flat earth movement or anything like that, it makes it so obvious that people are just illuminated into positions. Patricia Steer is ridiculous, but they're a crazy looking tranny. That's why they got pushed into the spotlight. It's not like they had anything interesting to say. What do these shills do? They spend hours and hours drinking alcohol and blabbing and making drama about nothing. None of those people did anything interesting. They were just leading the opposition, and some of them have written in their scripts to do absurd things that discredit the movement. They're playing the parts, they're playing the fool. So this is something that gets brought up all the time. Oh, their arguments are so bad. Well, stop listening to the crazy one. The crazy ones. The ones that are obviously put there to be crazy. Galileo was put under house arrest and killed for being a believer in the supernatural. Charles Darwin was ridiculed all his life for being a believer in the supernatural. A lot of these people too, they'll come out with it how on the deathbed they turned around and they became Christians, or they denounced all of their work right on their deathbed and then they said that God is real. We hear stories like that all the time. They're giving you some of the truth. Here examples of this, big characters that they have for pushing their agenda, they'll have written into their stories about how, oh, they actually were religious, or here are just two examples. They really did believe in the supernatural, even though they were supposed to be proving that, oh, it's all physics. There's nothing mysterious going on here. And so that's why I picked this example. And also, it's just a good example of scientism believers. They're totally blind to their own assumptions. They attack the Bible saying that they don't even believe that Jesus existed, was a person. They'll make claims like that. But then they never think, well, how do you know that Galileo ever existed? And then that's not just a made up historical figure. And of course, there's way more proof that Jesus Christ was real. And at the end of the day, it does come down to faith when you're dealing with religious things and talking about God. But they don't see their faith for things like Galileo. I don't have faith for Galileo. It's probably just some Masonic puppet, if anything, if even a real character. I just wanted to address that they always have this blind faith for science, gods of science, lowercase g, and in the same breath they'll say that Christians are dumb for believing in Jesus. If there's any silver lining to the flat earth movement, it's that I can use it to shame my creationist relatives. Here you go. It's a topic of shame. You don't believe in evolution? Seriously? I guess you're a flat earther too. This gets brought up all the time. I can even just point out a huge, obvious tranny, and somebody will come, "Oh, what are you, a flat earther too? You don't think that thing's a woman? And you probably think that the earth is flat too." It's just a thing that they can come out with to try to shame you. Flat earth is one of the ultimate, you're a lunatic if you believe X. And it's been programmed into you since birth. I thought this was a really funny comment. Wait, I thought they all come in a package along with anti-vaxxers to make the Holy Trinity. I just had a similar conversation with my 16-year-old daughter. She thinks I should be respectful of others' religious beliefs, even though she is an atheist herself. Wow. How accepting of you, 16-year-old daughter. I told her that we need to start treating religious people like we do homophobes. If they make a religious statement, call them out on it and let them know that it isn't acceptable to talk about in public or in your presence. This is crazy that somebody wrote this. We have made huge strides in just the last 20 years. Who can look around today and not think that the whole earth looks like it's just on fire already? This is a good point. Somebody agrees with that. Religious people will, for example, tell young gay kids that they will burn in hell forever. Jesus never talked about that. A true Christian that follows Jesus would never say something so disgusting. Telling other humans to kill themselves is one of the lowest things that you can do. And it's really cheap. Trannies throw that around like it's nothing. Telling people to just casually tell somebody to kill themselves, it just shows that you don't value life at all. And no real Christian would ever say something like that. And people just don't understand that there's tares all out there that pretend to be Christian, and they're just horrible people. But that doesn't mean anything about Christianity. It's on those people that they're phonies. Phonies all around you. One would first need to prove the inexistence of deities, just as we can undeniably prove the earth is round. So many comments in here kept saying, we can undeniably prove the earth is round. Undeniable proof that the earth is round. Okay, where is it? Why don't you hand me some of that undeniable proof? They never have any proof. They just say it's undeniable. Undeniable proof the earth is round, over and over and over, without actually giving any examples. We can't prove vampires don't exist. Vampires do exist. They just don't exist how Hollywood tells you and how you think it is. But it is a truth. There are blood drinkers out there. The establishment does harvest. Do you really think that all the people that give blood out there, all of that blood goes into blood transfusions? No. They make pharmaceuticals out of it. It's alchemy. They're making drugs out of human blood. And in that way, vampires are real. But, Hollywood has to make everything sexy. That's just one way to think of it. Everything gets sexualized and, flashy lights, smoke and mirrors. In real life, it's just a little different, but it's based off of something real. Vampires came from somewhere. Not only is there no evidence supporting their views, to me, it's just crazy how they are just blinded. These people probably believe the BS that's coming out of their mouth for the most part. I think when you're dealing with an awake person who knows the truth, I think those are the people that are making tongue-in-cheek jokes about it. And ones like this is just some automaton drone invert, I believe. They just spout stuff. Not only is there no evidence supporting their views, they probably haven't spent more than 5 minutes researching flat earth, to be honest. So look, here we have another example of somebody saying There's affirmative and easily obtainable evidence contradicting their views. Like what? Like the Big Bang Theory bouncing a laser off the moon? Because NASA laid a laid a mirror there? Ridiculous. It's cringy. It's really cringy. And it's because they do it over the top, campy, and stupid to mock people. It's part of the mocking, to make it crazy. This person claims that it's easy to disprove God. They are going to have something coming. Flat Earth is a much less encompassing sort of thing. Religion tends to get you early, tries to creep into your identity as a person in all sorts of ways, and ultimately instill in you threats of eternal damnation. I can say that that's not my case at all. I grew up completely agnostic. A lot of stories about people finding Jesus, they lived horribly destructive and sinful lives beforehand. They weren't raised religious. So I just think that I just picked this because it's something that gets brought up all the time. Oh, you only believe in that because, even about flat Earth, which I find very strange. You tell people that you believe in flat Earth and that you believe that the Bible's true, they try to say, oh, it's just because you were raised like that. What do you mean? I was raised in the same deception as everybody else. If anything, I was raised to believe that it was round. So I don't, round as in spherical, flying through. It's, the longer you've been awake, the dumber it gets. It gets dumber and dumber. Dumb and dumber. It's about everybody. It's very easy to prove that the earth is not flat. Okay, why aren't you proving it for me then? Give me the proof. Where was the prove the earth is curved day in class? I missed that. I missed the one where we went outside and we proved the curvature. Did you guys do that? I never did that. And I have degrees in STEM, science and math. We never had a prove the earth is round day, but we did spend a lot of time talking about the stereographic projection, which is the way to make a plane into a sphere, which is their whole deception. And they kept bringing it up. And at the time I was like, yeah, you guys keep talking about this like it's really important. And now I understand. Anyways, I took a lot of math classes and we never proved that the earth is round. The only times that, it's probably like one day in third grade or something, they come up with a few really bad arguments. Oh, the length of the shadow is different over here than it is over here, therefore it's a ball. That's not proof at all. That's just a bad argument. Though those types of arguments, they're making so many weird assumptions, like the sun is infinitely far away. For that argument, in order for it to have to be a ball, it's because they're pretending that the sun is infinitely far away. When you have a local sun, of course, shadow distances are going to be a little different depending on your location with respect to the sun. Anyways, I'm getting off on these tangents. You can't disprove the existence of God. It's easy to prove that the earth is not flat. Where's your proof? A lot of people keep telling me it's easy. Where's the easy proof? I haven't seen it. And in fact, I see a lot of people going way out of their way to hoax the fact that it's round, and it's obvious. The NASA stuff is really obvious Photoshop nonsense. They wouldn't have to do that if their outer space fantasy land was real. They wouldn't have to make every satellite image on Google a cartoon image, and it just goes into the mocking. They don't even try to hide it. It's just that they know that nobody is going to go against the grain. Almost nobody is going to go against the grain and research these things. And even if you find it, what? You're going to start talking. Anybody that's had an awakening experience, you'll see that everything about the Matrix is there to keep it reinforced and to keep people from waking up. And even if you do wake up, you're just up against a wall at that point. Everything, you start screaming the truth around you and people just call you crazy. You need to take meds, etc. I disagree. There's physical proof that the earth isn't flat. Okay, where's your proof? Where is your proof? Over and over and over and over and over in this thread, people just kept saying it. It's one of the lies that they just tell you enough. You've just been told a million times. There's so much proof the earth is flat. Oh, Galileo did it way back then. Oh, the ancient Greeks did it way back then. But there's no day in class where you go through the computations or you go through what they actually did, or you go and do the experiment yourself. You're just told to take their word for it. Flat earthers believe in things that were proven to be fake. They just constantly will tell like it's a closed issue. And yeah, the same thing with, I think people talk about gravity at some point in here. That's one that I do remember, gravity. I remember knowing that I was BS when they tried talking about the apple falling from the tree. No, there's just density and buoyancy. The apple falls because it's more dense than the air around it. Yes, objects in a vacuum fall at the same rate. That's just the way that God made this place. That's just a physical truth of where we are. People never remember that the whole concept of gravity is that the earth is so massive that the mass of the earth is somehow pulling us into it. And that's clearly sci-fi nonsense. They've even made it more ludicrous. Today it's about bending space-time. We have black holes to worry about, wormhole. It's sci-fi. It's sci-fi. It's not reality. The Bible's real. This looks like it could be interesting. Multiverse. People legitimately believe in the most insane sci-fi things, but then they scoff at the idea that God made this place for us to live here and it's flat because that makes sense. And there's a nice dome around us protecting us. And God made the sun, the light, and he gave us the moon, another light. They think that that seems so far-fetched, and yet they believe in any old Stephen Hawking multiverse thing that gets thrown at them. Again, I mean, just another thing that I can say about that that's not even sci-fi. On kind of the other end of the spectrum, totally spiritualism, new ageism. Oh, it's just a vibration, man. Everything's just a vibration. People will buy into that like it's okay, but then you tell them God made this place with his word and they think that you're crazy. Well, what are words? It's like a sound wave. How does that not go exactly in with your vibration thing? So here, plenty of really smart people are religious. So what's going on? It's because they know the truth. They just don't talk about it. In my opinion, these are the people that are trying to get into the flock. They're trying to get in through the barn doors by the wrong means. I forget exactly the parable that Jesus uses. There's those that try to hop the fence. They try to sneak in. I think that those are the individuals who they know the secrets, but they're not out there shouting on the rooftops about the secrets. They're guarding those, keep the secrets to themselves. Jesus talks about this, individuals that they try to hoard salvation for themselves and push others into damnation. Those people aren't going to be saved. Just because you know the secret and you try to live a pious life, but you're buying into the fake system when you're out in public and you're not telling people about the truth, I don't think that that bodes well for these individuals. So I think that's what this comment is talking about. How come there are so many people that are really well educated, they're really high up, but they'll tell you that they believe in religion and that stuff? I think it's because they know the truth. They know that about all the satanic deception. But they just go along with it. I hope you guys realize many cosmologists are religious because they know that it's a bunch of BS. Even the demons know that Jesus Christ is the Messiah. In fact, the former lead researcher of cosmology in Oxford was an ordained minister. They love to do these things to push it in our face too and to mock us. I liken this to the V2 rocket inventor having the Psalms referencing the firmament on their gravestone. I mean, this is bringing it all the way back to the beginning of this video, where it comes out that, oh, this person actually believed in God, like right on their deathbed. Or I know that this has happened. People, they denounce all their work. They say, no, everything that I did in my life was wrong, and I believe in God, I believe in Jesus Christ. But then people just keep using their work. So that's just this. The former lead researcher of cosmology in Oxford was an ordained minister, and they were religious. Well, shouldn't they know more? about that kind of stuff. And if they're going to be religious and they believe in God, and yeah, I just think it's part of the mocking and part of, they know it's fake. So that's why they're religious. Basically, everything brought up by religion can be proven wrong. And then look at this person. For example, no response. They've had 4 hours to respond. I don't know, maybe they're not there, but I doubt they'll ever respond. You ask these people for examples and they disappear. Even as an atheist, I see the wisdom and effectiveness of treating others as you would like others to treat you. Oh, Jesus talked about that. -6 points for you. Just thought that was funny. Here's a 777 username. The difference is Earth can be proved a sphere logically. Okay, where's your proof? Where's your proof? Gravity, here's the gravity. Gravity is a concept that can be shown and proven in the real world. No, what, like the Cavendish experiment? What a joke. There's a reason they don't talk about that in school, because it's such a joke. Nobody ever proves gravity. They just tell you it's real, and gravity is another big mocker, where, oh, you probably don't believe in gravity. Saying that people don't believe in gravity, same thing as flat Earth. Same MO. Look at this, -14 points for somebody saying that they like God. Should be a capital G, but I just think it just shows you Reddit. Nothing more Reddit than this. You can say really, just a statement like this, I love God. I think God is awesome. No. They try to pretend to be the most tolerant people, but they have zero tolerance for supporting Jesus Christ or even God. You can't even talk about, I love God. Nope. Minus points. Not that you should care about that, but it just shows you. What is wrong if you have faith? -4 points. Faith is a terrible method for arriving at truth. I can tell you the complete opposite for my case. I never learned more truth than when I just gave myself up for living for Jesus Christ, the truth, and that's all I'm focusing on now is just waiting for him. That's it. That's all that you have to do. The straight and narrow path is being ready, and any moment Jesus could come back, and that's what I'm waiting for. And in this process, I mean, putting it on here, a lot of truths have been revealed after I've decided this, that I want to live for the truth. The real truth. What do these people think truth is? People don't even know what truth is. People think that truth is whatever their science magazine tells them. You could come out with a science magazine the next month saying that everything that the last month said was BS and that there's a new theory that's right, and people just think that's okay. They'll just say, oh, well, science just always changes. And that's a big difference. Science always changes. Truth doesn't change. So that's how you can tell science is false. Oh, I liked this comment. -20 points. Oh, the gods of, should be lowercase g. Oh, the lowercase g gods of atheism. Freud, Marx, Dawkins, et al. So many to choose from. Where are they when you need them? When you're down and out, who shows up? They didn't visit me. I've never heard of somebody calling on Freud or Marx or Dawkins when they have, what do you call it? Sleep paralysis. I've never heard of that. I've heard of a lot of people calling on Jesus Christ, and it ends their sleep paralysis instantly. I had a coworker tell me she believes in flat Earth. Awesome for your coworker for standing up for what she believes in and telling other people about it. Because of the Bible, great. That's a great explanation too. I love talking about how, yeah, the Bible's flat Earth. I don't even know how to respond to that without telling her she is a moron, so I bit my tongue. There are dozens of us. Oh, I put this because of this. Somebody has a coworker that believes in flat Earth, and they say that the Bible's right. There are dozens of us out there. Here's a moon photo that I just took. The moon didn't used to be that bright. I remember that I used to have a really hard time discerning any of the features on the moon. People used to talk about man on the moon, bunny on the moon. I used to look up at the moon. I couldn't see it. It was too dim. and just smudgy. But now it's too bright to even look at. The moon is incredibly bright. Is it 7 times brighter than what it used to be? It kind of looks like it's 7 times brighter than it used to be, from what I remember. Here we go, Isaiah chapter 30, verse 26. Moreover, the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun, and the light of the sun shall be sevenfold, as the light of 7 days, in the day that the Lord bindeth up the breach of his people, and healeth the stroke of their wound. I just love bringing up this because it's prophecy that I know has come true. The sun is way brighter than it used to be. The sun used to be more yellow. Now it is just white, hot. Now, when the sun dips behind a cloud, you feel like a 20-degree temperature shift instantly. It just didn't used to be like this. The sun is more extreme. The moon is also more extreme. The moon is brighter than it used to be. It's also colder than it used to be. Anyways, probably a long enough video. Hope you guys enjoyed. God bless everybody.